What is going on, everyone? Badger here. And it appears that maybe the seventh time is the charm for Paramount because, yes, indeed, while the big news was that Netflix had entered into final negotiations and it looked like everything was settled, Paramount, of course, made its intention that no, 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 no. We have the better deal. And if you're going to ignore that, and specifically to Zaslav, if you're going to ignore it in order to go to your friend Ted Sarandos at Netflix and ignore your fiduciary responsibility for a long, drawn out process instead of getting the shareholders their money right now, well, we'll do it the hard way. And it appears that the hard way is by throwing 108 billion when all is said and done at them. This includes their original offer to buy everything, including the debt, and the promise of a streamlined process. So from Variety, Paramount launches hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers Discovery valued at 108 billion, seeking to derail Netflix's deal. Paramount offers 24 billion from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi wealth funds, as well as Jared Kushner's affinity partners. So that extra money finally showed itself. We did hear he had those three separate sources of Saudi money, but that they didn't meet the threshold for government oversight. So it was essentially free. Nothing's free, but you get what I'm saying. He was going to be able to stack the deck and not have to explain it, and that is what we have done. Shout out to That Part Place for having a very digestible explanation of it, and let's get into it, and then we'll be talking about it, of course, on all the streams. So Paramount, led by David Ellison, isn't giving up his bid to win Warner Brothers. Late last week, Warner Brothers announced it had accepted an $82.7 billion proposal, reportedly just, Paramount was offering $30 a share, and Netflix offered $30.75. It was really that simple. Its offer, Ellison tells shareholders, is an inferior proposal. He since lodged an attempted hostile takeover after the historically brutal bidding war. So this morning, Ellison made it clear that he is prepared to outbid Netflix by a substantial amount. And this is, I was joking. I was like, just give him 85. I didn't realize he was going to go into the hundreds, but Ellison offering shareholders $30 per share, all in cash for the entire company. Netflix is only interested in Warner Brothers and not the linear TV networks, which are said to be spun off into a separate company this year. Its offer was only $27.75 per share in a combination of cash and stock. So maybe these numbers got refined. So this is Ellison now. WBD shareholders deserve an opportunity to consider our superior all-cash offer for their shares in the entire company, Ellison said in a statement. Carefully crafted line may attempt to appeal to investors who felt disenfranchised by Warner Brothers' surprise decision to go with Netflix. And it surprised a lot of people, made for, much like war does, it makes for some weird bedfellows, pretty bipartisan, certainly on the politics end of it. People from both sides like, no, this would absolutely be horrible. Our public offer, which is on the same terms we provided to the Warner Brothers Discovery board of directors in private, provides superior value and a more certain and quicker path to completion. Giggity. Ellison said money talks in Hollywood and on Wall Street. If Ellison can prove he's offering a sure thing to shareholders, he may give them the final say. Warner Brothers leadership may have to take it, like it or not. And that was indeed his plan, to go directly to the shareholders to show them, I'm offering you good in cash money right now for everything, instead of this ephemeral money you were going to get from Netflix, destroy the theatrical releases, and then be caught up in the courts for years. Again, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush type situation. So Friday evening, the announcement of Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers and the HBO assets absolutely did send shockwaves through the industry. An agreement that Paramount called a volatile and complex structure, with this mix of cash, $23.25 per share, and stock, $4.50, being subject to future Netflix performance. It has an enterprise value of 82.7. So once you start getting into the actual numbers of what's what and who's who, it does seem like Paramount is offering the better value, 100%. So Paramount, in contrast, is promising shareholders a streamlined buyout. Ellison's company wants to acquire not just the studio and HBO, but Discovery, CNN, and all the TV networks. It's an offer with an enterprise value of $108.4 billion, including their assumption of the debt, which is like 39 million at this point. It's being paid in all cash and will not be dependent on the future. You will get your money now. In effect, Paramount is arguing that its offer is cleaner and simpler than the deal Warner Brothers accepted from Netflix. Of the agreement with Netflix, Paramount argues it puts shareholders at risk of going through the ordeal, and it will go through this ordeal of a protracted multi-jurisdictional regulatory clearance process with an uncertain outcome, along with a complex and volatile mix of equity and cash. We saw President Trump weigh in. He talked about that, yes, he does indeed have no issues with Ted Sarandos at Netflix, and that he extolled the virtues of the man, said he'd done a lot for entertainment, but also they already had a very big control of the market dominance, and this would perhaps put them in an untenable position where it's just too much power. Again, that's where the antitrust concerns, it's where it goes beyond the 30% control ratio that makes them look at it. And of course, we all know that they're saying, we'll keep doing theatrical releases. We know that is lip service. Paramount has also released this stronger Hollywood.com website, which we'll probably go through later on one of the streams, showing all the positives to Paramount and all the negatives of Netflix, including and up to the certainty of the money coming through and theatrical releases in the future. So I'm sure we'll be talking about this more, but that is the long and short of it. Paramount not going quietly into the night, and they have offered a deal that in total is approaching $108 billion, mostly cash. Let's go. Let's go. If Daddy Trump can't save us, hopefully the Ellisons can push this through, because for all the reasons, Netflix would absolutely be horrible to own one of the world's largest studios and the third largest streaming site. Let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.